"I don't shake hands with staff," he said, glancing at her dark skin and modest clothes. Then turning away, she stood frozen. In that moment, every microaggression she'd endured in boardrooms, airports, and elevators boiled beneath her calm exterior. What didn't he know? The assistant he just humiliated was about to cost him everything. 3 hours later, his company bled billions. Reporters were outside and she was already closing a better deal next door. This is the story of the black woman he dismissed until she pulled the $7 billion deal. Welcome, story lovers. Drop your city in the comments and see how far this story travels. The marble floors gleamed under her heels as Ava Daniels stepped into the towering glass lobby of Evercore Industries. Dressed in a plain gray blazer and sensible flats, she blended in easily, exactly how she wanted. At first glance, no one would assume she was a financial powerhouse. The brains behind a $7 billion investment deal poised to transform the tech sector. Today, she was visiting as part of a delegation scoping strategic partnerships. No titles, no introductions, just a quiet observation she'd learned long ago. That power didn't need to be loud. It just needed to be watching as she waited near the conference room. She noticed the dismissive glances and the patronizing tone used when addressing her. She wasn't offended. She was taking mental notes. Then the CEO walked in, and with one smug glance at her skin, her posture, her modest clothes, he made a decision that would cost him everything. Evercore's billionaire CEO Grant Holston was all charming till he wasn't. As he walked in shaking hands with the other delegates, his assistant gestured toward Ava. "This is Miss Daniels." He didn't even let the sentence finish. "I don't shake hands with staff," he muttered, breezing past her as if she were invisible. A few people chuckled. The room fell into awkward silence. Ava's fingers were still outstretched, caught mid-gesture. She lowered them slowly, expression unreadable. He thought she was the assistant. He didn't ask, didn't care. Throughout the meeting, Grant spoke about diversity optics and maintaining legacy control. Using phrases like high-risk demographics with a smile, he waved off concerns about ethics, then glanced at Ava and asked her to grab more water. She stood silent, left the room without a word. That moment shifted the air. By the time she reached the elevator, her mind was made up. The deal dead? 3 hours later, the news hit. Us firm, Trinity Capital, had withdrawn its $7 billion investment from Evercore. No public explanation, no press conference, just gone. Within minutes, Evercore stock plummeted. Over $800 million in shareholder value erased before lunch. Board members were calling. Investors were panicking. And Grant Holston, he was still laughing about the water girl, unaware of the storm he had just unleashed. It wasn't until Ava's name flashed on CNBC that Grant's smile cracked. There she was, Ava Daniels, managing partner, Trinity Capital, headlining a live segment titled "Investment Deal Shattered Over CEO's Behavior." Grant's face drained. The boardroom door slammed. Open. She was the one. He barked, voice rising. She was the decision maker. Someone nodded quietly. She was the deal. In the footage, Ava stood at another firm's office, smiling, calm, dignified, announcing a new partnership with Evercore. Competitor Doc Grant reached for his phone, dialing her number with shaking fingers. Voicemail. "Hi, this is Ava Daniels. If I'm not available, I'm likely in a meeting with someone who understands respect." Clipped. His hand trembled as he set the phone down. And in that silence, Grant Holston realized he hadn't just lost a deal, he'd lost everything. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like. It really helps. The aftermath wasn't just financial, it was personal. Evercore's reputation tanked overnight. Board members distanced themselves. Clients pulled contracts, and behind closed doors, Grant faced the consequences of years of unchecked arrogance. As for Ava, she didn't gloat. Never had to daughter quiet power, had already spoken louder than any confrontation ever could. She continued building wealth through strategic deals, partnering only with firms that led with ethics, not ego. The story went viral, but Ava never gave interviews. People whispered her name in elite circles with reverence, and a hint of fear because the woman they once dismissed now held the keys to the future. And the message was clear. Never underestimate someone because of how they look. One handshake refused can cost billions. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos.